You know what that means? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another live stream. This one's a very special live stream, as you can tell by the title, and it's gonna be a little bit different than what we normally do, but welcome. As always, if you've never been to a stream before, what time is it and what country are you at? I'm in the country of Ohio, so please let me know and we'll get started. I'm going to be answering your guys' questions today. It's going to be great, and here's the scary part. Ready? Are you ready for this? I'm on camera. So I'm not going to be working on anything today. It's purely just us hanging out as a celebration, and we're just going to be chatting. So feel free to ask me like literally any questions. I first and foremost, I just want to say thank you guys so much. Like, this is just mind-blowing. Like, I just can't believe we've hit this point, and that the channel has gotten this big, and it's very humbling. And so I just appreciate like each and every one of you who has supported me, and it's been incredible. I know it looks like I'm looking at the chat when I should be looking at you, but hey, you guys are awesome. Seriously appreciate you guys. And man, I'm excited. This is like the beginning of something really big here, and I guess what I'm trying to say is it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. All right. Is my camera flashing? What is that? What's that all about? That's scaring me. Swag like Ohio. Oh no. Why is my camera like... What is happening? That's fine. If my camera goes out, then we'll figure it out. Okay. We have a lot. Okay, this is the one stream. If you wanted me to answer a question and me actually see it, this is probably the stream because I'm just looking at chat. Swag like Ohio. Skyde says, hi, Goodgis, congrats. Thanks, dude. I really appreciate it. Okay, hold on. I have like this cursed camera. Is it just when I move my cursor? Whoa! Alright. I'm in Tennessee, and it's 1:10. Yeah, we're in the same time zone. You're in Canada. We got some people from Poland. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the camera. It's like, hold on. I don't know. What is happening? Anywho, we'll figure it out. Don't worry, guys. I'm already getting behind. I'm like, I'm not gonna get behind. Hi, Goodgis. Guy who likes cats says hi. Hello. YouTube going mad that his account, that 5 min subs that can chat while others, which is for a year, cannot chat. What? I'm confused by that question. I want to ask, why did you name yourself Goodgis? It's because it's like supposed to be good guy, but good guy was taken. I made it when I was a kid for RuneScape, and so I changed it to Goodgis. Interesting. Okay, is it just the camera? If I hide this, are we good? No. It's just this cursed camera. A poem. Goodgis is great. I wish he were my mate. His YouTube is to saves me when I'm blue. He's a funny man, though sometimes he can. Oh, his YouTube is too. Sorry, I just slaughtered that. I haven't been on stream in a while, and I just like forgot how it works. Bargy, congratulations, thank you. I really appreciate it. I can't believe we're here. Swag like Ohio. I don't know why that's... What's going on with that? Do you have Unity? No. I asked my daughter the other day. She's only like 2 months old. I'm like, do you like Unity? And then she smiled. And then I was like, do you like Godot? And then she looked awkward. She got awkward and like looked away. And then I asked her, I'm like, do you like Unity? And then she got really embarrassed afterwards. So we're gonna pray for me, guys. We're gonna have to, parenting's gonna be interesting with that. Just kidding. Okay, what is... Literally, camera behaves perfectly before stream. Soon as the camera starts here... Alright, hold on. Let's see. Does that fix it? Did I literally just have to not put it in? Oh, this is terrifying. That's like way too close. It didn't like the frame rate of like 1080p. We'll figure that out in a second. I'm already behind. All right, chat with Cheese. What's the best thing in game dev? Making games. Only in only in Ohio with camera issues. Yes. Goodgis origin story. Maybe I can jump into that shortly. I make games in Ohio. Game engine. Yes, the greatest game engine. If you want to start making games, what should I use? Whatever sounds fun. Like, obviously I use Godot, but I didn't start there. I use Game Maker. It really all depends on what you wanna get started with. Peter says, hello, I'm currently studying game design and have a background in programming. Have you had any formal education regarding game development? I have had zero at all. All right, guys, don't spam. Otherwise, I'll have to bring down the hammer here. Okay, so feel free to ask me any questions. They can be goofy, they can be serious. I've given dating advice in the past. Don't ask for that unless you really need it. No, I'm just kidding. But this is really just a hangout time. We're just gonna kind of celebrate hitting the milestone as a community, and yeah. Cheeseman has returned. Okay. Sup, Bargy? I'm a fan of you almost as long as Goodgis. Don't say that. Don't talk about Bargy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I almost call him Bargy. Bargy's a Chad, man. Ohio is using your camera now. Yes. Badgis hijacked stream. He probably is. Badgis is everywhere. Guy who likes cat says, hey Goodgis, what do you think of the tiles I made in game dev chat? I can't check Discord this second because it literally will destroy my camera, but I will check them out. How long did it take for you to make your first full game? I always run out of inspiration really quick after starting a game. Probably like, I don't know, probably like a month or something. I can't remember what my first full game was, but it is easy. I feel like making games, sticking with a game can be really hard, and what really helps me like stay focused is having like an accountability, like the YouTube channel, and you guys asking about like, oh, what about this game, what about that game. Like, it makes me actually have to work on those games, or it motivates me to keep working on them. And obviously Dewdrop, since the Kickstarter was successful, like, it's basically I was paid to make this game. So when you have that, or when you spend money on a game, you're very motivated to work on it. And honestly, at this place though, Dewdrop is like, I'm just having a blast with it. Speaking of which, Ludos, I think that's your name, said, how's Dewdrop Dynasty going, by the way? So Dewdrop's going great. It's just very secretive, hush hush, because before we do another devlog or really announce anything, we want to make some really nice, significant progress. So it's just, a lot of stuff is in the works, and I just don't want to spoil anything. Like, I think that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. But if you want to see like little clips and stuff, I post on Twitter every once in a while. Okay. I'm just gonna go to the current stuff because I'm already behind. If I miss a question of yours, please feel free to ask it again. Don't spam in a row, but if I miss it, feel free to ask it again. Silver play button when? I have no idea. I think you have to get you have to wait a couple days for them to verify that you hit that, and then you have to do some other stuff before you get it. But I'm sure I'll make a post. It's cliche, but I'll have to. How did you start posting videos on YouTube? Like, what was your idea at the beginning? So it's funny because a long time ago I had a channel called Goodgis, and it was when I was 13. So that was over a decade ago, and I made Let's Plays about obviously video games, Nintendo games. And I remember as a kid when people asked me like why do you want to, like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I want to be a YouTuber. And then, I got a little bit older and I was like, all right, that's the odds of that aren't very high, and I only had like 80 subscribers, so I'm like, I'll just move on. So I pursued graphic design, and that became my full-time thing. It still is what I do for a living. But I had some good advice. Let's just say a couple significant people in my life encouraged me to start the channel, and I felt like it was something I really needed to do, and I didn't want to. Actually, this channel, I was like, I don't know, because I had already spent years with other channels trying to be successful and grow it, and it just didn't pan out. So I decided, I'm like, I'm gonna make a channel, and I didn't want to, but I felt like it was the thing I needed to do. And ever since I started, it's been the growth and the in the support and the community has been so incredible. So I really had no expectations. It really was just going to be me kind of talking about my games and seeing where it went. So I hitting 100K is just like mind blowing. I didn't even know where to go from here. So hopefully not backwards though. I know Finbob eats eggs. We did it. We did it. All right. What's my favorite color? That's a great question. My favorite color is probably like cobalt blue. Like not like I can't like that perfect blue. That's not too dark. It's not navy, and it's not cyan, but it's that perfect blue color, generic blue. It's probably my favorite, either that or cherry red. I kind of like them both almost equally. But great question. Yeah, a lot of delay in the chat. That's because I'm like, wait, okay. I'm scrolling to the bottom. All right, here we go. Jams Dev says, hey Goodgis, what is the best way to grow your channel? I do programming videos and have done a bit of game dev. I think the best way to grow your channel is to first off, make a video that you want to make. Like, there are videos that do well, but doesn't mean necessarily that you want to keep doing those. Like, I could do Godot videos till I'm blue in the face on why you should switch to Godot, and those videos do really well. But if I have nothing to say about it, like, you know, I just don't want to do that. I want to do something else. So do something you love. That's first and foremost. There's my finger. And then secondly, you want to make sure that whatever you do is broad enough so there's like mass appeal. You don't want to do something too niche, but you kind of want to do it niche. So it literally, I don't know. It's literally like trying to find that sweet spot between the two. And then you just want to study, like, you don't want to copy what other channels are doing. You want to create something that hasn't been on YouTube, but then kind of look at similar styles and thumbnails and things like what are people interested in, and I guess try to find something similar to that. I don't know, it's really vague. And here's honestly the thing about YouTube is every day it's a learning experience. Like, things change. Like, you could be doing super well one month and then your channel could be tanking the next. So just, I don't know, it's just all experimentation, and you really never get confident, I guess, until you're huge. But okay, anywho, for Dewdrop being secretive, will there still be monthly Kickstarter updates? Yes, yeah. If people that back the Kickstarter, you'll, especially the beta supporters, you'll get access to the game, you'll get builds, and there'll be updates as well. I'm just saying, like, in general, we've been very hush-hush, and partly because, and some of you might not have known this, but I recently had a baby back in November, and yeah, and then the holidays. So it was a very busy time in the Goodgis household. So we're finally, the team's still been working on Dewdrop, and we always make progress, but we just haven't been as focused work, and that's partly because we're setting things up for this year, which you'll see. But we're about to go into like serious, we were in planning mode for like a good month or so, where we were just organizing, getting everything set up that we needed to. But now everything's kind of set in place. Because honestly, if you don't have a good plan with game dev, you kind of just aimlessly wander around. So, happy 100K. Are you Milk Gang? I am Algorithm Juice Gang? I don't know. Danny has he posted in a while? I don't know. Where did you learn Godot? I literally learned it by reading the manual and watched some YouTube tutorials. That's it. What would you do if you were to start learning game dev all over? I read that totally the wrong way, but I probably would just read the manual, and I'd watch more videos. Like, when I was a kid, I was on an air-gapped computer, so I didn't have internet. so it was really hard to learn. It was hard to learn anything new on it. So reading up as much as possible. I know following tutorials is good for the beginning, but you really need to learn how to read the manual. And part of that is understanding like the fundamentals of programming. Like if you don't know what a function is, you need to look at what a function is. You don't know what an array is, variable, if you don't know variable, that's like the basics, you know what I'm saying? So focus on programming basics and then focus on logic and then go from there. What happened to the full version of Blizzard Blowout is that is still my fave game of yours. It's just nothing. It's just on pause right now until Dewdrop's finished. We pretty much cancel nothing. It just until I go full time. It's just too hard to manage all these things. And Dewdrop's been the game that I've been working on the most. So, or for the longest, I should say. There's a little Goodgis somewhere on this earth. There is. We call her Baby Gis. All right. I love Godot's documentation. Yeah, sometimes it's a little sparse, but for the most part, you can learn a lot. What are some tips for collaborating on Godot projects from multiple computers? Just Git. Set up a Git server and just don't work on the same code as the other person and you're fine. Team Snomes. Actually, we're planning some. I don't think a lot of people know about Snomes, like the game, the tabletop game, and all the beautiful secret stuff with Snomes. So we have some secret plans with Snomes in the not too distant future. Drink water. I need to. It's more fancy if you put your pinky up. All right. Sorry for that ASMR. Let's see. What do you use for art? What do you mean, like for what software? Can you elaborate, God's epic gamer? Fortnite. Can we get a Whizbird plush? That's something plushes are definitely something I want to tap into this year. And Whizbirds is like one of the it seems like Whizbirds is like one of the top character designs. All right. Oh, Snows. Ooh. All right. It's that the hard way editing the same stuff at the same time. Yeah, it's confusing. Hey, thank you. You inspired me to get into game dev, and I love it. I love your dungeon board game, and I made a similar to it after. And also, congrats on the baby. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Be careful with the spamming, guys. You're gonna get the Dark Hooded's gonna go. He's gonna pull out the ban hammer or the timeout hammer. I pitched Snomes to another YouTuber who's looking for more original content to plug. Hey, I appreciate it. I know Snomes. One thing that we haven't done well with Snomes, and you can tell because my voice just cracked, is we haven't explained how to play it. Like there's a video on it, but I think most people don't know what it is, and if they did, I think they would really enjoy it. So that's something one of my mindsets with game development is I just don't want to make a game and be like, there we go, moving on. My goal is to go back and add updates and improve it. So even Blizzard Blowout, I plan on updating that game, and the keep, the keep's not dead. We're always thinking of new ways. We just can't do everything at once right now. So more expansions for the keep, and obviously more printing for the keep, and then Snomes writing more expansions and stuff like that. We love doing free updates, and then obviously having more paid updates in the future. What's the baby's name? The baby's name is Baby Gis. Do you prefer Snomes or the keep? They're totally different. So it's I think the keep is a more unique game because it's a board game, where Snomes is more like a role-playing game. But they're both really fun and different. But also, if you guys want physical stuff, this 2023 is gonna be the year of physical products. We're gonna be setting up a shop in the not too distant future. Hey Goodgis, vector or bitmap art? Vector. That's all my stuff's in Vector. My last game was in Vector. That's what I do. Like, I feel like my best artwork is in Vector. I know I do pixel art too. Have you heard of Fishards? It's a newish Godot game on Steam that's gotten a bit of press lately. It reminds me of a ton of Whizbirds, but with fish. I'm gonna look this up real quick. If you hear a trailer play, that's why. It just gave me pliers. Interesting. Looks interesting. That's all I have to say. I don't know. Hey, thank you so much, Ferris Nagatome. Is that correct? Thank you so much for the super chat. Get your opinion on how modern games can benefit from the Fumido's Ueda's design by subtraction, aka minimalist game design. Cheers. That's a great question. And thank you so much for the super chat. I mean, I've never, like, I don't even think I've heard of that, but it makes sense. So, like, think about it. The most basic games are the ones that we play the most. Like, the most bare-bone games, like, we go back to Tetris and Solitaire and Pong, and, like, even if you think about games like Among Us were just like school games, like you would play in gym or something that is turned into a video game. So like in Manhunt, it's just tag. You know what I'm saying? Like, so some of the most basic games, like the less, they're easy to pick up, they're fun because there's not too much like rules that are stifling that you have to figure out, and there's some strategy to it as well. So I do think that simple games are, like, strategy games can be incredibly fun, but they're just very niche, where I think more minimalistic games have a broader appeal. So there you go. Any advice for making a platformer? Make sure you get your controls like super tight before you start designing the world. And honestly, like, that's the most important thing with your platformer, is just having super tight controls. So coyote time, variable jumping, and I don't know, squash and stretch. Make it juicy, make it feel good. Is GDScript easy to learn for beginners? I feel like now that everything's said and done, I think that Construct is easier to use for beginners than GDScript. Or I'm sorry, I thought you said GDevelop. Yeah, GDScript. If you're talking about Godot, sorry. GDScript is pretty easy, yeah, for a programming language. Recommend a laptop for game development 2023. You know what? I don't really use laptops, and even though I'm a Linux user, I actually use MacBooks. So, but I don't really like do as much development stuff on there. So, really anything, unless you're using like Unreal Engine or Unity, then you're gonna want something a little bit beefier. Some random guy, love your vids. Thank you so much, dude. What is your favorite game? It's hard to pick a favorite, but some of my favorites are Sonic Adventures, like 1 and 2. The Paper Mario series 1 and 2, of course. Ocarina of Time. I'm trying to think. I don't know, like those classic. I really love like platform, like Mario 64, Mario Odyssey. I don't know if those are my favorite all time, but they're some of my favorites. Kingdom Hearts. I actually made a chart of literally all my favorite games. I made like this big image and I put it into a board. I need to look at that again, but those are some of the ones that come to mind. I love I don't know, there's more, but that's all I can think of. What is my favorite genre of game? That's probably like action adventure. I know that's so broad. Like action adventure can be like anything, but like a Zelda game, I guess. Like I love, not open world. I mean, open world games are fun, but I like those games that are like, basically, I guess Zelda games are like Metroidvanias, but 3D. I don't know. Those types of games though. Platformers. 3D platformers. I think. What game is better? Earthbound or Undertale? Earthbound. Like Undertale, I think it's a great game. I think Undertale is more of a story, where Earthbound's more of a game. I'm gonna be told, people are gonna be so mad that I said that, but and partly because I just like have Earthbound has a special place in my heart. So what keyboard do you use? I used to use this ergonomic keyboard, but then I spilled water on it, and now I use this thing. It's a Keychron KJ3. It's like a 80%, 60% keyboard. I don't know, but it's a mechanical keyboard. It has a Gateron 5. Or Gateron 5. What am I? Gateron Browns. What am I saying? I'm just making up stuff at this point. Do you are the be the is? That was like poetry. Are you still a graphics designer? I am. Yeah, that's like still. I know I say that all the time. Like, I'm a graphic designer, I'm trained. But that literally is my job, and I do a lot of illustration. And people always ask like, why my art? Like, hey, how'd you do your art? Like, I went to school for it, so I went for 5 years for graphic design, and I've been doing it for almost 10 years. I started in 2014 is when I like started getting into graphic design. So I've been doing it for almost 10 years now. And I've been working professionally for a while, but as a full-time job, it's been like 5 years. How many hours of gameplay will Dewdrop have roughly? I don't know. Probably. I'm trying to hit like a good 5-6 hours. It's not. Indie games take forever to make, and they're short. And Metroidvanias especially. Like Metroid Dread is like 9 hours, and that's a $60 game. So it's not Hollow Knight length. But we don't know yet, so it's gonna be the length that it's gonna be, and that's about it. It's my stress. It's not really stress ball, but it's my Kirby. I grab them when I'm stressed. I'm not stressed though. Well, I'm not even a developer. I do want to learn a program once I get somewhat advanced in animation first, my other goal, but I'll try to answer. I don't know when have I wishlisted Carlson? I have not. I'm sorry. I haven't. How do you take notes for your game plans? I like section notebooks, but I've seen people just use a ton of sticky notes for notes, which seems like allows for a lot of easy flow of mind. Have any preference? I just use Milanote. I know it's like people are like, oh, sponsor. Like they did work with me. But I honestly reached out to them because I just love their software. So I use Milanote, and the whole Fear team uses Milanote. And then I have my own like note-taking app, and then I'll just randomly sketch stuff in a journal. But we basically keep everything in that. Give me a name for my new game. In the depths of the whale's stomach. I don't know. Dark Hooded says, how do you best manage stress with game dev and project management in general? What are the best ways you cope? I think here's the thing. Until game dev becomes your career, and even if it is your career, like you have to have fun with it. So it's not a job, and it can be easy to be like structure it like it has to be. You got to work 8 hours a day. You got to do this or that. But like if you're working full time and you got other stuff, like that's not realistic. So you have to treat it like it's your passion. So if you're working on something that's not super fun with your project, like if Dewdrop, if I'm getting tired of working on like UI stuff, then I switch over to working on bosses or enemies or something like, and then you work on the stuff that you enjoy. Ultimately, you're gonna have to, all of it's gonna have to get done at some point, but have fun. If you need to take a break for a couple days, take a break. But like, it's just, if you're not having, you need to have fun. And if you're not having fun, then you're pushing yourself a little too hard. And that's whenever I start to feel stressed, I'm like, hey, I'm not having fun with this. I need to I'm turning this into a job. And what's the point of making games if it's just another corporate job? So have I played Terraria? I played a long time ago, like 10 years ago. And it's okay. Okay. Any chance of making tutorials on Godot? Not right now. I just got too much going on. And I don't know, some people are really good about making tutorials, and I don't know if I'm that type of person. Milano is the only tool that does not demotivate me for games. It's if you utilize it well, it's a wonderful tool. And they just added something new recently where you can like, or maybe it's not that recent, but you can like add like due dates on tasks now and like assign people. So it's great. It works really well for the team. Half the time, the Fear team and I were just like dragging stuff around and being goofy. Can we have a Whizbirds party after this? That'd be awesome. It would literally crash from the amount of players because I think there's only a max players of 20. But when Wiz 2 comes out, and I will say, we just need, once Dewdrop is done, Wiz 2's further along than most people think, so. I am 15 and want to start game dev, so where do I start? I would start with Scratch. Learn game logic, that's the best way. You want to learn programming, game logic. I think most people understand programming, it's great, but then they're like, how do I take the syntax and make something out of it? So scratch.mit or whatever, Scratch MIT, check it out. Great way to get started. Have you ever wanted to quit game dev? There's times that I've never like been like, oh, I'm tired, I want to give up. But there are times that I have been like tired, but I just take a little bit of a break. Like, and honestly, with YouTube and my job and just like stuff I do outside of, like I play music outside of all this stuff. It's enough diversity that when I come back, I'm just excited about game dev. But it's really something that I really enjoy, and I keep coming back to. Will I do it forever? I don't know, but the dream, it's just like the dream to make a game, and to have the freedom to keep making games, and like it would be awesome to be at a place to just like have a game that's successful enough that I could make whatever I want, like, and I could experiment and not be worried about like, oh, am I gonna be able to pay the bills? So also a little shout out to Snome's Dice here. What's my favorite book? It's The Hobbit. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, and actually my studio's name Firth comes from the Lord of the Rings. It's the Elvish word for autumn. I think it's like Noldor or Sindarin or something. Thoughts on rhythm games like Geometry Dash? I didn't even know Geometry Dash was a rhythm game, so I've played Rhythm Heaven. That's fun, but that's as far as it goes. I think they're fun. What are you gonna work on? Are you gonna work on the game today? No. It's a Sunday. It's a day of rest. Good Gaia. What's worse, scope creep or 100 bugs? 100 bugs. Because scope creep just makes it hard to finish a game, but sometimes scope creep can be good. Hello and congrats on 100K. Thank you so much, WM Gaming. I really appreciate it. I hate auto spelling. Yeah, me too. Have you read the Dresden Files? No, I've never even heard of that. I'm currently reading, so I bought a bunch of Newbery Awards. I try to read a lot, especially during January. And so I've been reading Newbery Awards, and I recently read, if you're interested, I recently read My Side of the Mountain, which is like a kid that lives in a tree. He's like it's like Survivor Man, that show, if it was like a kid back in the 60s. And it's like, it's a fake story, but it's a really fun, like, I'm just in the wilderness, living in a tree. And then before that I read Out of the Silent Planet, which was C.S. Lewis's like sci-fi series, which is good. I don't like sci-fi, so it was like, I like Star Wars sci-fi. I'll watch Star Trek every once in a while, but I don't like really realistic sci-fi because it just feels cheesy. And then the next book, well, I have another book I'm going to read, but one of the books I'm going to read is the Book of Three, which is like the trilogy that Disney movie, The Black Cauldron, was from. And I thought that the Black Cauldron movie was such a dumb movie. Like, I thought it was like, the pacing and stuff was horrible. But what cracks me up about that movie is that the character Gurgi, like, hey, Gurgi, munches and crunches. So once I found out there's a book, I cracked up and I had to read it because the book's, of course, gonna be Geometry Dash isn't a rhythm game. So that shows how much I know about rhythm games. How complete is your game? 0 out of 100. It is somewhere between there. Or no, you didn't say 0. Out of 100%. I don't know. It's the core mechanics are there. It's just you can never tell. Because I could say like 75%, but it could actually be 20. You just don't know. I don't know. But it's definitely, we're definitely more than halfway there. And I don't think it's going to take another 3 years for the game to come out. That's what I'm saying. I'm planning, I want it to come out by next year. That's the plan. Q1 of 2024. I'm 11 and I have made about 60 games and I want to start doing YouTube. Made about 60 games and want to start doing YouTube. How should I start? Just make a video. Pop into your video editing software of choice and get cracking. That's it. Don't think twice about it. It says rhythm-based action platformer, but it isn't a rhythm game. And that's still, it is, sure. Can you release your game at 200K? What game? Did you ever make a website? Yes, I'm actually, well, no. We're actually currently working on the Fear website update. It looks really nice. So there's gonna be some secrets on there as well. So, but I was planning on it, the new website coming out like the end of this week, and then with a new video. But I don't think that's gonna happen because we have some Dewdrop. I just go back and forth. I have to work on Dewdrop for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I have to switch back to working on video and maintenance. And I spend a week about that, and then I go back. So, okay. Do you like Game Endeavor? Yeah, I think Game Endeavor is a cool guy. So, it's kind of more like adult Harry Potter, but he's a private investigator for the magical Sid of things. I never read Harry Potter. I'm not too. I like fantasy, but I'm not too big on like witches and wizards. Like I like my favorite fantasy is like medieval fantasy, like King Arthur. And like Lord of the Rings I know has wizards, but it's not the same. It's not like, I don't know. Have I played Splatoon? I have. See, I'm the kind of guy that I would play Splatoon more on a regular basis if I had a group of people to play it with, but I don't, so. Goodgis, tell us about the secret runes on the keep. I can't. It's not a secret if I tell you. Did you stop watching when you started being serious? Orange? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? I love your game. When will you release a demo? If you're talking about Dewdrop Dynasty, there's already a demo that's out. Go check it out. Okay, on the side of the box, the runic script you use. Is it an actual language cipher? If so, what does it say? Yeah, it is. It does actually say something, but I can't tell you. I'm sorry. Eventually, maybe. You guys will have to figure it out. But I'll just say it's a very easy cipher. What is your video editing software? I use Premiere. Adobe Premiere. Want to make a creepy adventurous indie game? Just replace it with funny, and that's what I'm making. What's your favorite pixel art piece you've made? I don't know. Normally I like whenever I make something, it's like my most recent piece that I'm really proud of the most. I would say some Wiz 2 art, but you guys haven't seen it, so. How many years of game experience you need to make your dream game? It all depends on what your dream game is. If you're trying to make some AAA game, then it could be 10, 20 years. If you're trying to make, if your dream game is Pong, but with hands instead of paddles, then you could do that tomorrow. So it really all depends. And honestly, there's nothing stopping you, so go after it. Go for it. How do you recommend for someone to learn how to use Illustrator? People don't like this advice at all, but this is how you learn. And I'll fight you on it, but literally get a design, go on Dribble or Behance or whatever, see a style that you like, literally trace over it, like use shapes and recreate the design over top of it. don't post it because you literally just copied someone's work. But what that does is it teaches you kind of it teaches you how to create the shapes and what the shapes that they're making, and it starts making you think about how can I take the shape and break it down to smaller things. So people get really offended by that. They're like, oh, don't copy. That's literally, as babies, how do we learn? We repeat what our parents say. We watch someone else and we copy it. So that's what you do. Don't post it, don't share it. And then eventually, if you copy a couple styles, a couple different artists, make something original, and you'll notice that it will be original, and you'll have your own style. So, but just the main thing is that when you do copy it, like, never post it. Or if you do, be like, hey, I copied this so-and-so's design, check out their design. But like, never take credit for it, because that's just terrible. Have I ever competed in a game jam? I have. Like once or twice. How many years of game jam experience? Okay, I did. I have not played Wizard 101. The only game like that I've played is Free Realms. Have I tried a 120 FPS game? What do you mean, like with a monitor, or like I think my monitor is like 124 hertz or 144. I can't remember. So yes, I have. Do you have any ideas for the next video? I do. But do you want me to spoil them? Like, that's the thing. Like, no. Surprises are so much fun. Oh, you just found my channel today? Thanks so much. Welcome aboard. We just hit 100K, so this is I think I started doing YouTube in October of 2022, so just over 2 years, 2.5 years. We hit 100K, and it's crazy. I'm making my first Metroidvania, and I don't know what to start making. Well, probably the movement. Start with that. Movement and abilities. Because your world and your enemies and your bosses, everything revolves around the abilities and the movement and the upgrades. So you want to start with that first. Otherwise, it's going to feel really weird if you like make everything, then you make your abilities, because then it's going to feel like an afterthought. Do I know Ludwig? Like the Mario character? Hello, Goodgis. When I grow up, I want to be... I love how I'm like, hello, Goodgis. When I grow up, I want to be a game developer. How do you start? How do you become successful right now? I use Unity. It's a good engine. I've made about 3 games. Success isn't something... You don't force success. It just takes time and dedication. So I've been doing this for... too many years to think about. Too many years. I've been doing this probably like 14, 15 years. Off and on. Like, that's not me actively pursuing game dev. I've actively pursued game dev for like 4 or 5 years. And every year it's more and more successful. But it just takes time. It takes time, and you have to get better at what you do. And you have to find the right people. And that's it. If you study other games and you just are dedicated with it, you will be successful. I truly believe it. Can you tell some Illustrator tips? Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what, can you give me more specific, like what more specifically are you asking about Illustrator? Because that is such a broad thing. I could talk about colors, talk about, like, are you asking like shortcuts in Illustrator? Are you talking about Adobe Illustrator? So if you could elaborate on that. I remember there was a video where you reviewed your viewers' games, and I can't find it. It's on there somewhere. Any tips for level design? I have a theme, lava/volcano, but I have no ideas for levels using that theme. It's for a game, the infinitely scrolling upwards, and player jumps from wall to wall. You just study volcanoes, study other games and locations, and the best way, here's what I realized. You can't hit, like, sometimes we try to sit down in our game engine, we're like, all right, I'm gonna make a game. It doesn't work like that. Like, in school, they always taught us, like, even just for design, you need to sit down, you need to sketch. You need to give your brain time to just think and imagine. When you're in the shower, think about different areas. When you're talking with friends, like, oh, what about this or that? Like, you're gonna come up with so many more ideas than just sitting down in front of Unity or whatever and just like staring at a blank screen. So what level are you in the Whizbirds? 1,000. I don't know. I'm probably, you guys are way higher than I am. Actually, that's not true. Well, yes, like fairly, like you guys have gotten there fair and square, where I'm like level 99 because I just set myself to that. What is the best way to start learning Python or GD script? Just, there's so many different places. You could, I think W3 Schools has Python tutorials, so you can do that. That's great. Or like, you can get like an app on your phone. There's tons of apps on your phone where you can learn Python. So it's one of the easiest languages to learn. And but I'd recommend using some sort of application that like kind of grades you. Like W3 Schools, there's like quizzes, and I think Code Academy or Code Learn or something on the iPhone works as well. Is this music from Partners in Time? I think it was. You improve yourself every day. I try to. Why does the Chad from the Keep barely have any muscles? Because he's a skeleton. That's why he's trying to work out. Well, it depends on the edition. Because every edition on the Keep has a different Chad. Or like a different outfit. Yes, thanks everyone. Again, I can't believe we hit 100K. It's very surreal. I was at a Chili's yesterday. And I was just like, when it hit 100K. And we were like, my wife and I were like, ah! We were like jumping around, people were looking at us. So it's crazy. How long should music and game menus be before looping? A minute. How do I shoot in Dewdrop? What do you mean? Like, what button? It literally says. And there's different controls. Depends on what you're using too. Like, you can swap the keyboard controls and use a controller as well. What is your favorite part when making a game? I don't know. It's really fun. There's a lot. It's hard to pick because I really love coding mechanics. It also feels great when you add some. I think polishing is probably my favorite part. It's just like adding juiciness to a game. Have you ever used Monogame? I have not. Favorite keyboard switch, like key types? I'm a brown kind of guy, if that's what you're asking. What's my sub goal? I mean, 100K was my sub goal, and I didn't even, honestly guys, I wasn't even sure we'd be able to hit 100K, so I don't know. From here, I guess it would be 200K, so. Thanks so much, Hex Blitz University. What's your schedule? Can you share how do you use your schedule? Are you talking about like for game development? I have zero schedule because I work full time. So it's basically whenever I have free time. So normally after work and stuff or before it, I just work as much as I can. So people always ask me like, how do you do all this stuff? Like, it's a lot of work. But I just take advantage of as much time as I have, and then I delegate. We have a great team. A lot of people think that our Goodgis and all this stuff is just, and these games are made just by me. But I have a wonderful team that supports me. We have Crepe, who's my brother, and he does a lot of the like social. Like if you have ever been in the Discord, you've talked with Crepe, because Crepe is like, he's just like our social manager, and he just loves chatting and connecting with people. And he's kind of like my admin too. He keeps me on track. And he's also the editor of the Goodgis videos. And then you have Bonzo, who he's like game designer and also character designer. So a lot of the different characters and stuff that are designed in games, Bonzo works on. He's designing characters for Dewdrop, different boss characters right now. And so and he helps with mechanics. So he's kind of been my right hand man when it comes to Dewdrop. And then we have Kiwi, who's my wife, and she does stuff. She normally moderates chat, and she actually has a Pixar YouTube channel. And then we have other people in the team that help out. We have I call them like guest stars, people that like step in on occasion and help out. Dark Hooded is an OG, member, and he steps in and helps out. And then we have Floof, who's like our web developer, and he's like our Q&A guy. Or I'm sorry, yeah, QA. He's a QA tester. That man can break a game faster than anyone than I know. So he's an incredible QA tester. Cole, Dewdrop was not canceled. I know the last video, I haven't made a video since the Dewdrop, but we actually got funded. So Dewdrop is alive and kicking, and it's gonna be released hopefully Q1 of 2024. Fingers crossed. Date of the next video release, maybe. I have no idea. I have no schedules for videos either. Like, here's the thing. Like, once I am able to go full time, I think I would have more of a regular schedule. But right now, it's just impossible. And honestly, like, I don't want to burn out. Like, do you guys want me to have the typical YouTuber videos like, oh, burn out? Like, I don't want to do that. I just kind of do it when I get the chance, and I just try to have fun. So that's why I'm not like, even the sub count. It's amazing that we got here, because like, I don't try to go crazy about videos and like it's got to be a viral video. It's like you just can't do that. Life's too short. When do beta testers get their beta? The plan was towards the end of January. It's going to be a little bit later. And the beta testers, this first thing is going to be like a debug room testing like all the abilities and weapons and like new enemies and stuff. So it's going to be more so because that's such a crucial part of the game that we're trying to nail down, and we need all the beta testers to basically break it, make sure there's no bugs and it's as polished as possible, because we don't want to you don't want to start adding bosses and stuff with those special abilities if the abilities are messed up, because then you're gonna have to rebalance everything. You're just gonna have to redo work. So also, if I'm being annoying when answering a lot of questions, I'm sorry. I want to help in case Goodgis can't answer some questions, but I should probably let him take care of the big ones. Hey, Glitch, go for it. I always love and appreciate when people know answers to things and help answer, so I think it's huge. Oh cool, didn't know your brother was on the Fearth Studio Discord. Yeah, he's one of the main Fearth team members. Hey, I played the demo, just 2 problems. When you use your gun to go upward, you need to let the Z button, which is really annoying. Can you make it so it doesn't matter whether Z is still pressed? I'm confused. That was only one problem. And also, they'll be remapping on controls. Here's the thing: if you want to offend people, just add controls to a game, and you'll instantly offend people. No, it's like when we released the demo, that was like the biggest thing is like you would had normal controls, and I had like originally it was like Hollow Knight controls, and people are so offended by them. They're like, oh, what's this control scheme? I'm like, it's Hollow Knight. And then when I changed it to something else, half the people got offended. Like, no, why did you change the controls? So there will be control mapping. You can have whatever jank setup you would like. You can have it. Just want to pop in and say congrats. Thank you so much. I seriously appreciate it. Your background music makes me feel like you're emotionally broke. Why? Would you do another video of reviewing fan games? I might. Who knows? What I like about those videos is I can help other devs. It's also exposure for their games. And it's also a not too crazy video to edit. Like, cause sometimes videos just take so long. But we'll see. Goodgis, I have a question. I'm completely new to creating games, and I wonder what programs I should use and which program language I should use. I mean, it seriously all depends. Like, such a broad question. It depends on if you want to make 2D or 3D. I think if you can, just use Godot. Use GD script with Godot. That's my personal opinion. But if you want to use Unity, learn C#. I personally just don't like the whole experience. I think it's really difficult and convoluted. So, Dark Hooded, thanks for helping out and stopping by. Have a good one, dude. We'll chat soon. Do I live with my parents? I do not. I am married and I have a child, and I'm independent. I live close to them. No, I know I look I'm almost, guys, you don't want to know how old I am. You can guess how old I am, but I'm a lot older than you think I am. Do you plan on making another playing our games video? Maybe. Probably. As long as there's enough interest. Like, I know this sounds really bad, but like if you're gonna spend all this time and effort, sometimes you can make a video and it could actually hurt your channel, and that's frustrating. So, but if people want to see more of those types of videos, then why not? They're, like I said, they're easy to make, and it helps a lot of people. When are we expecting a new board or tabletop game? So, like I said, once Dewdrop's finished, two things. When Dewdrop finishes, it might be like, if the game does well, then that could be my opportunity to go full time, and that's what I'm really hoping for. Plus that, and the channel and everything set up, and at that point we can develop games a lot faster. So there might not be any new board games or tabletop games, but there's going to be revamped stuff. So like, look forward to Snomes and the Keep stuff, hopefully in the not too distant future. And I'm not just talking about print and play stuff either. So we're just trying to figure out, it's a lot to manage, like trying to figure out printing new games and YouTube and making digital games and working, you get it. I'm not trying to complain. I'm just saying it's I want to work on it, but I just don't have time. Can the Dewdrop demo please be released on Mac OS? I really want to play it. Yeah, that's my goal. So we didn't have a Mac that could play it, so we actually got a new MacBook, so we can actually do a proper build on it. Because you have to do the Godot build on Mac. So we'll test that, and I don't know when that'll go up, but hopefully that'll go up sometime in the future. Okay, so you guys think I'm 22, mid-20s, 27, 30, 38. 38? I'm not that old. Yeah, mid-20s. You're right. Mid to late 20s. Goodgis, didn't mean to offend or scream or something. Wait. Didn't mean to offend or scream or something. Just found it somewhat tedious when you fired your gun downwards to boost your jump. You need to release Z and press down. Release it and press down arrow, then X. You don't need to release Z. You can have your... I mean, if you feel that way, that's fine. Like, that's why we're going to add control mapping. I think the controls are incredibly easy to use. You just keep you keep one finger over Z and one over X, and then you aim down. It's like the same thing you would do in Hollow Knight or any other game. Snomes. Yay! I made 50% of all fan-made game stories. Yes. I don't know if there's... Well, we'll see. My goal is to release more, like expansions to that, or stories. I don't know, which campaigns, but we'll see timing on that. I already have 2 that are planned out. Evo Wright says, "Congratulations, Goodgis! I've been with you ever since like 5K subs. I know you've been here a long time. I recognize you guys, all you OGs out there. I think that Paint 3D is a good modeling program for my game development needs, but now I use Arch Linux. Which software should I use? I know about Blender, but that's really complex. Blender's great. Use Blender. It's not that take the time. Here's the thing, you can use a very simple tool, but you're only gonna be able to go so far with that. If you learn Blender, it actually runs better on Linux too. So just use Blender. That's what I use, and it's really not that hard. Like, it's funny how like we want to find shortcuts, but those shortcuts end up taking us longer time. Like eventually, if you're gonna be like do modeling and expand your skills, you're gonna move to that anyway. So you might as well just do it now, and get good sooner. Get good. Can you make it so that you can dash even if you're not moving? and you go into the direction you're facing similar to Hollow Knight. Yeah, that's something, it doesn't make sense as much for rolling. Like, it is kind of weird to just roll out of like just standing, but that's all stuff we've considered. Just know that all of your feedback, we appreciate it, and we have it written down, and that's stuff that we're working through. There's just a lot of feedback, and you guys contradict yourselves all the time. You know, people be like, add this, and then someone's like, why would you add that? And it's very split. So ultimately, I'm just going with my gut for the, like, you have to have confidence, because otherwise, like, I have to say, when I released the demo, it really shot my confidence, because everyone was like, everyone's like, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. And it's like, it's really confusing. You're like, what should I do? So eventually you just have to stick to your guns. And I can't remember where this quote was. But basically the quote was, it's from AAA developer, but if you basically listen to every advice that someone gives you, like, you're just going to make a boring game is what's going to happen. So, but I'm not saying that to discourage. I really appreciate you guys giving us information, or like giving us feedback. Just know that just because if something is or isn't in the game doesn't mean that we don't like appreciate that at all. But I'm sure you do something in your game that someone else would disagree. So yeah, Oliver the guy, you sound like a hardcore Fearth game fan. We gotta get Poe plushies. Pogue Champ. Good guy job, Goodgis. I love your content, and I've been following you since a long time. You've actually got me into pixel art and game dev. I just have one last thing to say. Thank you. Modley, thank you so much. You know what? There's a magic chime just for you. I seriously appreciate all the support. Like, all this stuff, like, I wouldn't be doing this, you know? Like, I'm just like all of you guys. I'm just sitting around making games, you know? There's really nothing different. And so the fact that I have this platform now is just all thanks to you guys. Thoughts on Love 2D. I used it actually right before the Python video. I messed around with Love 2D and I really enjoyed it. So I want to make a video on that. You're gonna notice there's gonna be more engineless videos, because I noticed they, like, I don't know if you guys noticed the last video, but it's like my best performing video like of ever, all time. And I'm like, oh yeah, I just got to do Python videos, but that makes me really happy because I've been wanting to do engineless stuff for a while, and so I'm thinking the future format is me going to be doing more engineless videos, and then when I have a Dewdrop devlog, like I have enough stuff to show with Dewdrop, there'll be a big like Dewdrop devlog, kind of like how Pontypants, he's only posting videos for like Punch a Bunch every couple months or 2 or 3 months. That's kind of what we're gonna do, because the Dewdrop devlogs they'll be more hype if you actually see. It's not like, hey, I added a hat, that's it. So but yeah, so Love 2D, I loved it. What neighbors think nearby you? Do they ask for tutorials for their children? No, nobody knows. I've never had anyone approach me ever. Like, no one knows who I am. No one's ever walked up and like, are you Goodgis? Like, nobody. There's one time I was at a zoo and a kid kept staring at me, but he could have just thought it was weird. But it kind of felt like he recognized me, but that's like kind of vain to be like, oh, he knew who I was. I do have a Goodgis hoodie, so maybe he was looking at that. I don't know. But no one's ever recognized me. And if you do recognize me in public, feel free to say hi. Just don't be creepy. Video idea. What about making a game with a Nintendo Game Builder app or Dream Dev's app or even Mario Maker? That could be cool. I think the best videos are the ones that are the hardest to do though, because there's less videos of them, if that makes sense. Like making a game in C++, I feel like would have more appeal than making a game in Mario Maker or making a level in Mario Maker, because like making a game in C++ is a lot less accessible. Moves to Ohio to ask you, how is Bob the Pot? He's broken. Oh, he's still around. Like, I want you to know he's in the game. I don't know what you're talking about, but I disagree. Well, you're wrong. I think out of all the game dev people, I'm trying to think who's actually like ran into someone, like people have recognized them. I think it was Polymars said in college, someone knew who he was, and they commented on his video and they said, I watched you eat lunch or something, and he was like really creeped out by it. I could be making that up, but I'm pretty sure I think that was in a dev dump episode. We talked about that. When do I think Dewdrop will be released? I think it will be released basically a year from now. Like on the Kickstarter, the estimated delivery is like Q1, which is like January, February, March of next year, so 2024. And I think that's pretty generous. I think we'll get the core bulk of the game done early, and then it's just going to be like 5 months of just polishing, if that. But if we finish sooner, then obviously I want to release it sooner. So I don't want to make this game take any longer than it has to, but I also don't want this game to be bad. You know, it's like the game's not coming out until it's good, until it's great. How about that? Oliver the guy, thanks for stopping by. I seriously appreciate it. Have a good one. What do you do for your health? How do you maintain the environment for your positive side? So here's a funny thing. I used to take allergy pills because I had bad allergies, and I took them for like 4 or 5 years, and my allergies were so bad I would take like allergy spray as well. And then one day I realized I'm gonna stop taking these. I'm just gonna drink lots of water, and I've never had allergy problems since. So drinking lots of water is a good thing. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I honestly don't know why that happened. All I know is the less I take your vitamins, drink your water. The more preventative stuff you can do, the better. The less medicine you can be on, the better. And one of my main ways of staying healthy is hiking. So one thing about Ohio is, you know, even though people think it's weird, but Ohio has so much like beautiful nature and scenery here. Like, it's incredible. Like, you have the Hocking Hills area and the national park. It's beautiful. So hiking all the time is like the best way to stay in shape, because I don't like working out. I'm not that guy who's like, I'm gonna go to the gym, bro. Like, I don't know. No one, like, in the medieval times, people weren't lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? They were like lifting sacks of corn or something. Like, they were just doing their job. And so I feel like the healthiest way to work out is just by doing like everyday things. So hiking, that's what I do. I like to walk and hike, and I think I didn't try it last year, but the year before I walked 150 miles or whatever, which was big for me because like the previous year I walked like 50. So just walk. It's great. Reese is a real life Goodgis fan, I think. Yeah, I've never actually met Reese in person. We talked about meeting up, but I actually haven't talked to him in a while. What's the key to appealing thumbnail? Because you're acing them. Thank you, I appreciate it. I think bright colors, and just don't make it busy. Like, so many people like make it so busy, and it's just not appealing. Like, people aren't appealed to clutter, so people aren't. Yeah. Anyway, I have lots of allergies. Okay, I'm not saying. Okay, I'm not a doctor. Just in my case specifically, I don't know why, but I would have vertigo. I had all this stuff. It was terrible. It was like a really terrible time where I just was like sick and horrible allergies, and I would fight vertigo all the time. Vertigo all the time. But then I stopped taking all this allergy medication, and here's the thing: the side effects. First off, I was exhausted. Like, I didn't realize. Like, after I got off it, I felt hyper because because that stuff just like really makes you lethargic. So, what do you think are the keys to good tile sets? Making them. A good tile set doesn't distract from the player. Like, it just adds, it enhances the gameplay, but it's not distracting. Like, you don't want to have super busy tiles that take away where you're like, where's my player at? So they should enhance. How much will Dewdrop cost? I still don't know. Probably $15. It's not going to be any cheaper than what the Kickstarter price was, which was $15. I'm pretty sure it's $15. I can't remember, but something like that. But it won't be any cheaper than that because for the length of the game and for the amount of time and effort, if I make it any less than that with Steam's cut and tax, I basically would make like $0 off the game. Can you make a game like Cuphead and Unity? I could. I don't know if I. And yeah, you know what? I didn't even know what Cuphead. I know Cuphead's like kind of. Is it like Mega Man? Like I don't even know what the genre is. I know it's a platformer with hard boss fights, but I don't even know what like type of game, style of game it is. But do you ever plan on getting a Playdate handheld? I ordered one a year ago, so I'm actually should be getting mine in like a couple months, less than that. So I'm sure I'll make a video. Atsu has inspired me, Squid Guy dev. He's just that man. He's one of my favorite game devs that I watch. His new Metroidvania Playdate game was like, oh, so cool. So I would love to make some like micro games on that. And there he is. Speak of the devil. All right. I know you're here. Now I got to talk poorly about it. No, I'm kidding. No, seriously, if you guys haven't seen Atsu or Squid Guy Dev's channel, go check him out. He literally, and if you haven't heard the Playdate, it's literally just like this handheld like Game Boy thing with a crank. It's awesome. So check out his channel. We even did a collab. All I did was sprite some socks and some fish. Now that I mess with like Lua and like Love 2D, I totally feel confident in making like a Playdate game. So that's definitely, be prepared for that in the not too distant future. Bro, I love you live stream. Do you love the live stream or do you love me? Or do you love your bro? All right. Any more questions? I'm about to wrap this up. I have to go to church in a little bit. Got to play some guitar. Any questions? Yeah, Atsu, your tennis game was really fun. Or fun looking. I like how the Zuck is in it. This Animal Crossing music is a banger. How am I doing? I am doing well. It's I'm a little tired. Babies will do that. We're starting to get into a good rhythm with the baby and she's sleeping longer. But like the first like 2 or 3 weeks I was like, because I'm a big baby. I'm a baby when I don't sleep. But she's starting to sleep like only one feeding in the middle of the night, which is great. I'm sure for most of you, you're like, I could care less about babies and feedings, but it's worth it. She's so cute. Big congrats, Goodgis, if you're a team. Hey, man, thank you so much. I seriously appreciate it. Godot 4 isn't out yet? I mean, it is. It is, though. You can use it. It's actually stable enough that you could use it now. When do you know you've got the feel of a game just right? When you keep playing it. So, an example is in Dewdrop, one of the new abilities is a flamethrower gun. Or weapon, flamethrower. And instead of shooting like shots to jump, it has like flame propulsion, like a rocket pod or something like. And just adding that to the game and like setting things on fire, and then they run around when they're on fire. I just keep playing it and playing it and playing it and playing it, and I'm like, all right, I need to get back to working on it. So that shows that you have something fun. The Waffle House has found his new host. This feels like AI generated comment or something. Do you enjoy Garbage's content? Yeah, I used to watch him all the time. I don't watch him as much, but I think it's cool. Any tips for my little brother? He's an aspiring young developer. Keep doing it. Stick with it. Lean on other people when you need help, but I mean, honestly, it's just like you have to have the mindset. Just like what I love about being a developer is it's less competitive. Like the art scene, you literally it's a competition. You just have to be like the best artist, and like you can support each other, like an artists do, but like it is a competition. Like you just want to be the best designer you can be. But with a developer, there is competition, but I think less as much. And I feel like it's more about just obtaining knowledge. So keep reading, keep I would say to you, you know, I'm assuming you're the older sibling, just keep inspiring him to do what he's doing. That's the best thing you could do. So did you know if you say Goodgis fast, it sounds like Goodgis? I don't think so. I love it when people like accidentally call me Googie. Like I think that's hilarious. Googie. How do you go from drawing using Java utilities to proper drawing with OpenGL and DirectX? I've never done it, so I have no idea. Actually, Java is on the list. All right, we got JavaScript, Java, C++, C, Lua, like Love 2D. Those are like my big bucket list things I want to make, like games in those. How do you collab with game developer? You just break up a task. You could use Git. If you're younger and you don't know how to use Git, that's fine. Like have someone make art and someone make music and someone code, or take turns coding and sending like the file back. Since you're a Zelda fan, have you ever heard of Super Dungeon Maker? I have. Yeah, it actually looks pretty good. Did that come out recently? I've seen a couple things like that. And it looks pretty sweet. I'm that type of guy though, like I would just, instead of paying for it, I think I would just make one. Maybe that's a video idea. I think you just gave me a video idea. Like I'm not gonna recreate a full-on dungeon maker, but I think that would be fun to make a tool like that. I really want to make some sort of project where like the community can interact with it, so. Oh, Pico 8. I have used Pico 8 one time. I made a game called The Manic Baker, but I didn't know how functions worked then. Honestly, it's embarrassing. Like, I didn't know how functions worked until I used Godot. So, yeah, it'd be fun. I really do like coding in a text editor. Like, like making a game in a text editor. Like, no UI, no, like I know it's harder when you're making bigger games, but just like for smaller projects, it feels so cool. Like you could literally make a game in Notepad, and that just feels cool. Like, why would you do it? I don't know, but for the challenge. Wait, I realized I missed more than an hour of stream. Hey, it's okay. This will be up. It'll be public, so. Oh, where's Rust in the list? Oh, that's right. I forgot about Rust. You know, it's funny because Rust isn't like as popular. I've tried Rust in the past, and I feel like the documentation's very lacking. It's very, very lacking. Also, I'm a little scared by the people that are on board for Rust. Like one of the biggest like surveillance companies, I think in China, is like on the board for Rust. I could be wrong, but that scares me a little. But it's probably fine. It's probably fine. I gotcha. That makes sense. So that they're continuing to develop it. I made a level editor for like the old version of Dewdrop, and it was so much fun, like coming up with stuff. I would love to create something that's like that, but like on a more small micro scale. When I started being a game dev, did I invest in a comfortable chair is important for posture. Before I even got in, well, I guess I've been doing game dev for a while, but basically, if you work at your desk like for a long time, get a chair. What's the old adage? Like an ounce of preventative is worth a pound of cure. Wait, an ounce? Yeah, that's right. So the most expensive thing I probably have other than my computer in my office is my chair. I don't even remember the brand of it, but it's not a Herman Miller chair. No, I'm sorry. I'm not that expensive. maybe after Dewdrop we'll get a Herman Miller chair. But it seriously has changed. Like my back used to hurt when I would go to bed at night, and my back would be twitchy. But because of like the lumbar support and stuff, it's great. Also, standing desks. I know this, like, the one sponsor I've always wanted to get, because I actually have their desk. Like, I paid full price for their desk and I just like it, is FlexiSpot. Like, they're like the most affordable brand for standing desks. So I highly recommend FlexiSpot if you're looking for, like, this is not sponsored. I wish I was, because I'm missing out on this money here, but they have really affordable standing desks, and what I did is I sold like some video games and stuff to get it, and your body will thank you. I got the Kana bamboo one. It's beautiful. I've had it for a couple years now. All right, hey, I played Duck Game you made in GDevelop. Funny story about Duck Game. So that game is public domain. I made it so anyone can take it. They don't have to credit me. They can take the art. They can take the code. They can do whatever. So somebody made it and they put it on Cool Math Games, okay? They just took that and they put it on Cool Math Games. So someone in the comments was saying I was a fraud. They're like, oh, Goodgis, you didn't make this game. You just copied this Cool Math game. And they didn't realize that I made the game in the Cool Math Game, which is like, they just took my source code and the artwork and used that. So go check it out if you want to practice some math. Duck Game is a Cool Math game now. But yeah, so in the future, I think I'm going to use, I'm using MIT license, so you have to give credit so people know that I made it. So people don't think I'm a fraud, but. Can you teach Unity scripting? No. I don't use Unity scripting. It's yucky. In C#, like everyone talks about C#, but the problem about C# is it's only used for like Unity. Like, it's only used for like Microsoft stuff, and I don't like that. I don't like stuff that's like, you could say GDevelop is only used for Godot, and I get that, but GDevelop is so similar to Python and Lua that it doesn't even matter. And you could say that, I guess, about C# as well, but I don't know. Then you have to use Visual Studio, and it's not good. Thank you so much for providing so much knowledge and information to all of us. Of course, my goal is to be as transparent as possible. If I was like, I'm still to this day, anyone, I don't care who they are, like I just want to learn. If any success, I always want to learn like how did you get there? What did you do? Like, I think we're all in the same boat. We all want to be successful, and it's like my cousin used this example back in the day, but we're basically like in a lock, like in a river, and we're all in a lock together, and when the water raises, when I raise the water, it helps you raise the water, and we all rise together. And when you raise the water, it raises us. Like, it raises each other. So basically, we're all in this together, and supporting each other is how we're gonna be successful. How do you make your marketing for your game? It's weird because I think I'm in a unique position because YouTube has been like a big part of it. But even just itch.io, social media is really what it is. When will Blizzard Blowout 64 be out? I mean, I don't know. That's a great question. Our plan is we have a lot of stuff developed for that game for like a bigger release. So we might do like an update, and then when we do a big update, actually sell it. There's a new game engine by the PK08 devs. It doesn't have a sprite tool or anything. It's just programming. Oh, what's it called, Dave? David? Davey? Can you make a GDScript tutorial series? There's so many. Like, seriously? And you really don't need... It's the funny thing about GDScript tutorials, like, anytime I tell someone who wants to get into GDevelop, just learn Python. Because you'll literally, like, there's so many resources for Python, and it's basically Python. There's like a few things that are different, but just read the manual and you'll see the differences. So you really don't need a video on coding in GDScript. Like, for some things you do, but don't touch the cornfields in Ohio. Yeah, see, the thing about Ohio is like the southern half of Ohio is mostly cornfields and it's more flat. But I've always lived like in the north part of Ohio, and it's beautiful. You have the lake here, you have the national park here, you have it's just more scenic here. It almost feels more like Florida, especially if you're like up by the lake. So it's really nice. People crap on Cleveland. Cleveland's actually really nice. Trust me, I've been to much weirder cities. I think Cleveland is just like everyone wants to make fun of Cleveland, but I mean, I'm not saying it's like New York City, but it's nice. Cleveland Museum of Art is like world-renowned art museum. It has the largest collection of Asian art outside of Asia, and it's like world-renowned. I saw a Van Gogh last year, 2 years ago, and some Monets. I think Cleveland has Monet's water lilies. Like, that's one of the things that they're famous for. Thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate it. I rewatched a bunch of your videos lately, and they really inspired me to get back into learning game dev and Godot. Go for it. Do it. I want to see what you make. How do you think a game trailer should be laid out? I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. There's great that Derek Hugh. No, it's not him. Not Derek Hugh. There's a guy Jonas Tyroller interviewed about trailers, and he has a lot of great tips. How are games made on C++ if it doesn't support threads? I don't know. I don't know enough about that to give you a good answer. I'm sorry. Because of you and the game devs that make devlogs and information videos, I found inspiration that the day I started making games or get better at it, I will make informative videos too. That's awesome. That's all about legacy. Legacy is you have others who've gone before you, and they build you up, and they take time out of, like, they basically take time to help you. And the goal is that, exactly what you said, when you're at a place, you're able to help others. And I think that's the best mindset to have. So Summoner, I don't know if your question was wrong. I just don't know enough about like threads and C++ to answer that question. Do you have a job other than game dev? I do. I am a graphic designer for a Fortune 100 company. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to... Just for privacy. I really respect my privacy, and I hope that you respect my privacy too. It's like, I feel like most of you would be totally fine. Like, I would love meeting people in person, but I'm sure that there's at least one or two very strange people. And for that, I like to keep my privacy. Can you move your camera? Show the view. It's just snow. Should someone be afraid to share an idea in case someone steals it? I mean, yes or no. Like, sometimes, like, people have made like straight up copies of Dewdrop, but I think, and this sounds really bad, but I think public shaming is the best way to prevent people from stealing from you. But I don't know. You just have to be careful, I guess, because some people can get kind of weird about it. But like I said, public shaming. I don't recommend. Shame is not a good thing. You should not feel shame. You should not shame people. But if someone is stealing something and blatantly stealing it, then they should be called out for it. All right, I'm gonna answer like 2 or 3 more questions, and then I gotta call it quits because I'm gonna be late for church. Can you make a game like Angry Birds? That'd be interesting. Any tips on surviving the transition to Ohio? Are you moving there? Ohio is great. I seriously, like, I was watching a video I think it was this morning about like things you shouldn't do in Ohio, and I was just like curious to see like other outside perspective. And one of the top things in Ohio is don't talk trash about Ohio, because everyone, like, people in Ohio love their state. Like, I've gone to other states when they're like, they could care less. Like, yeah, I don't know. I live in like, I had now someone who lives in Indiana, and he just hates it. He just wants to move away. But in Ohio, of course, there's always gonna be people that like don't like Ohio. But like, if you talk crap about Ohio, people get mad at you. So careful. I'll come after you. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously, it's a beautiful state. What types of projects would say get most successful in Kickstarter? I think board games do. Physical products it's so much easier to sell. So video games are hard. We do drop. I don't know how it got funded. I seriously don't know how it got funded. It was a Christmas miracle. It was all your prayers. I appreciate it. Shirt, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Blizzard Blowout Deluxe win. I don't know. After Dewdrop. Thanks so much, Alexandra Matos. Matos. I don't know. I know how you say your name. Jay Alexander, peace out. Have a good one. Just one question. I'm trying to get into writing code, and after spending a few years on GDevelop, I tried learning Godot. The thing is, I didn't absorb any of it. How do I learn more efficiently? I don't know. You just have to learn at your own pace. Like some principles of game development took me like years to figure out, and then I'm like, oh, that's how it works. So you just have to. You have to just keep at it. You have to keep learning. Like if arrays are confusing, learn about arrays. Like just keep learning about it until it makes sense. And it's okay if everything doesn't click. There's a great rule. It's called the 30% rule. And they say when you're doing something new, you should only do something that's 30% new to you. So like if you're learning a language, okay, say you learn Japanese and you want to learn, I don't know, you're trying to read a sentence. Well, it's not really helping. Reading that sentence isn't really beneficial unless 30% of this stuff is new and 70% is old, because then you can get the context. But if you're doing something like, if you never used Godot and if you've never coded before and you've never used a computer before, like those are like 3 lemons. Like you're doing more than 30% new. So if you get used to using a game engine, that's one thing. So you get comfortable with that, and then you start using GDevelop. Sorry, not GDevelop. GDscript. And that's like, if coding's new, then you should just learn how, like, standard coding, like learn Python. Like I said, that's like, just learn Python. There's so many tutorials. It's literally like the easiest language to learn. And I'm not saying that it's easy. Like, it just takes time. Like, it's not hard in the sense that if you just work at it every day, you'll figure it out in no time. And it's okay. Like, when I say it's easy, like, I don't, like, some people get really discouraged by that. I want you to know, like, it's okay if something's hard, like it's confusing. Just know that you can get through it. Like, it's easy enough that you can get through it. So, okay. I don't know. I'm like, okay. All right. Well, I need to hop off here because I'm running late. I'm not running late, but I need to get ready for tonight. But I just want to say once again, thank you guys so much. First off, for just being here at the stream and hanging out. Hopefully this wasn't super boring. I know normally I do pixel art and stuff, but it's actually nice just being able to read the chat. It's kind of weird. I'm not used to just reading the chat and not having to be like working the art and do everything. So, Pixel Pete, thanks so much, dude. I seriously appreciate it, man. So I don't know when I'll stream next. I want to get in a better schedule of streaming some Dewdrop stuff, but it's been a little bit harder now recently. But stay tuned. This year is going to be a big year, and we have a lot of different things planned. So I'm super excited for what the future has ahead of us, and there's going to be more Dewdrop stuff. There's going to be a lot more coding videos, and there's going to be some new exciting games coming out. So I just want to thank each and every one of you. Like, seriously, guys, like it's incredible. So I know some people, it's easy when your channel grows, it's easy just to kind of like get used to it. But I just want to let you guys know that, like, how much I really appreciate each and every one of you, and it's a huge accomplishment. So, and it's perfect that the Xenoblade music is playing. The sad Xenoblade music is playing, so all of you can cry and go about your Sundays. But thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.